Shit, I may have to get caught up here in Wichita. We're going to sing it. Don't wait. Amen. Gracious eternal Father God, we thank you now for this outpouring this morning. Thank you for your grace and your protection. And Lord, I pray now that as we make ready to leave here after having this food to feed our hungry spiritual souls, Lord, that you'll give us traveling grace in places that we call home. Thank you, God, because you love us enough that you died for us. And Lord, you brought us to be a church 159 years old. And it was done, God, with folk bringing nickels and dimes, saving to be able to give $1. And in the midst of all that they were faced with over time, Lord, the discrimination and the lack of opportunity to save money or have a bank that you did give us Liberty Bank, Father God, before that. All those other Douglas Bank, Lord. And this church was built off that. Folk giving 75 cents. They bought organs. They bought a piano. And they built this church. Added on to the church. Oh my God. Our history is of men and women who believed in you, committed to you, and gave accordingly as you had asked. Now, Lord, I thank you for the gifts we're about to receive, our church anniversary gift. Each member will give $159 in addition to their tithe and offering, that will continue to do the work on this side. In the glorious name of Christ we pray. Did the church say amen? Amen. If you would just stand now and come and give your gift. Amen. Freddie said, just go ahead. That's all right. Father God, we thank you now for each gift and each giver. In the glorious, righteous name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Let all say amen. 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 We're good, Freddie, Miss Thompson. We're good. We won't do the benevolence today. Amen. Let me do this morning as we make preparation to sing a song. Our guest speaker today is no stranger to our church. Even before he preached for us, he would stop in and say hello. Whenever he was in the community. He would come by and share with us. And then for the last 4 years, about 4 years now, he's come back every year to be with us in this day. And this day is no different. Amen? And I'm so glad he was able to make it. And he'll travel out this afternoon to get back to Wichita. He told me that the highways are better south than going north. Amen? So he's going to have God's going to inspire the tires to stay on the road. He is just a great guy. He's written a book. And I told him about the division, his opening few paragraphs or chapters of the book just recount his life. And when you read about someone's life, you realize that people go through things. Amen. And he was supposed to bring some books with him. I'll pause right there because you can say that. See, I said, Ms. Clemens, I said, bring some of your copies with you. But, I can only ask. I did, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. You make sure I said something right. I messed up quite a bit, y'all. I was supposed to be in two places at the same time. And miss something, and then folk get mad at me, and I just smile and say, well, it's in here, not my heart. But it's a great read. And I think we would all be encouraged by such time when people tell what they've been through. And in 2019, it's my prayer, church, that we're going to be willing to share our lives' experiences with others. Because somebody's going through what you've been going through. Amen. And I've learned that God uses us to help someone else. Amen. Whatever I experienced, you may not have experienced. But your experience, I may not experience. And the two things I've learned. One thing I know for sure. God cannot use an impatient person to go help somebody else who's already impatient. Amen. That's a disaster for trouble. And the other thing I learned is it's hard to be empathetic. And it's good to be empathetic. Amen. But it's even more when you have walked where someone has walked. Amen. So the next voice you're going to hear would be that of this young man, E.A. Cotner from Wichita, Kansas, St. James Missionary Baptist Church. We know who he is. His beautiful mom is here with him today. Amen. All right. And mama must amen when she's supposed to and point at you when you're not telling the truth. Page 45. Come on, let's stand to our feet. We're going to sing the hymn. The next verse here will be that of us.
so when it came time to come to Kansas City by way of Dallas, Texas, the books and everything that had to do with the book wasn't on my mind. I had Thanksgiving and had turkey and pie and ham. I was eating all the stuff, that the doctor says lay up off of. And I said, well, because it was just one of them days. And so I think I've eaten so much pie. I got pie coming out of my ears, y'all. I had just been shoving it all down. So, yeah, if y'all, we'll make sure we get some books up here to make them available. I promise we'll sign them all that good stuff. And so, yeah, God has just been good to me. Amen. And so, yeah, the sister that I'm talking, she's been in the car with me, been riding with me, been hanging out. She's got to catch a plane to get back to Dallas so she can get to work on Monday morning. So we got to catch it and make some things happen. Is that right, Boo? Okay. All right. But yeah, so it is, once again, but it is good to be with you all and hanging out on the Lord's Day. Of course, my constant road dog, they try to hang out with me no matter how senior she gets, and that's my mother back there. Amen. All I got to do is say that we were rolling, and she's got a suitcase with wheels rolling right on out of her little apartment, and she says, I'm ready. And they might have about 1,000 pounds worth of garments in that bag, but yeah, she says, I'm ready. So not to delay the moment, because we're going to get in and out, and God is going to do what God is going to do. So hope you don't mind if I just take your theme, and we're going to make it play a little bit. And so in the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verses 27 through 30. Yes, Philippians chapter 1. Yeah, verses 27 through 30.
Preach it, sir.
Philippians 1, verses 27 through 30. All right, hear ye the word of the Lord. It says, only let your conduct be worthy of the gospel of Christ, so that whether I come and see you or am absent, I may hear of your affairs, that you stand fast in one spirit, with one mind, striving together for the faith of the gospel, and not in any way terrified by your adversaries. You know who they are. Which is to them a proof of perdition, but to you of salvation, and that from God. For to you it has been granted on behalf of Christ, not only to believe in him, but also to suffer for his sake, having the same conflict which you saw in me, and now here is in me. So just for a few minutes, we're going to just talk about a congregation worthy of service for the Lord.
All right.
Yeah, congregation worthy of service for the Lord. It's one thing that now I think you have been listening to the pastor this morning, that it's odd that after 159 years that now the congregation says we need to reevaluate our commitment and make sure that we are doing what we should be doing, but more than that, doing it for whom we should be standing for.
All right.
After 159 years, a church founded by slaves has now assembled to say, you know what, let's re-examine what we do and to why we do it. After 159 years, ain't none of y'all in this room that was even thought of 159 years ago but God. But he said, at that time, I'm going to put you in a room with like-minded souls, and wherever 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, on one accord, I'm in the midst. And so at that moment, I need y'all to look at the commitment for the service that you've been given.
All right.
Yeah, a congregation worthy of service for the Lord. Now, what I like about it, I'm not normally a theme preacher, so when you give me something, I like to play with it. But y'all pick the brother that I love, the gospel globetrotter Paul. Y'all know he wrote so much of the New Testament and has dealt in so many avenues and could bounce back and forth between a Roman citizen and now he's on the good side for Jesus Christ.
All right.
Yeah. So you do know that everybody's got a cause.
Yeah.
Everybody has got a cause. The women got the Me Too movement. The men, Me Too movement. The black folk now got the Black movement, the new Black Panther Party, homosexuality, the rainbow movement. We want to be treated like normal folk. Make us get married. Give us all the rights and privileges. Never mind that it goes against everything God says he established the marriage to be. But everybody's got a cause. Animals even got a cause. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I am. My baby has got a dog. The dog name is Gracie. Gracie is an ankle biter. Y'all know what she is, a rat dog. Ain't no bigger than this. It's not good for anything. Can't guard nothing. Can't do nothing but yap and make a lot of noise. This is Gracie. So one day we're on the phone talking, and Gracie comes and yaps to baby. And so she goes, "You hear her?" I said, "No." She said, "Gracie's talking." I said, "Well, what did Gracie say?" She said, "Gracie said, I'm hungry." I said, "You kidding me, right? You are making this up. This ain't really happening." So Gracie yaps again. She said, there she goes. She barks a command out to somebody in the house to get Gracie something to eat. And so I said, "Listen, I would show Gracie that because of where she is in the food chain, Gracie would eat when I decided to give Gracie something to eat. I would go to the kitchen and make myself a sandwich and sit down on the couch with Gracie right there in my presence." And she says, "Gracie would just look at you." I said, "You're right, because then I would eat said sandwich right there in front of Gracie to let Gracie know, you don't tell me when you hungry. I'll let you know when it's time to eat." I'm telling y'all, everybody got a call. And so you can either be on the left side or the right side. And let me say this, because if you look at the news now, you would trip out with everything that's going around. Well, you do know that God has already covered all that mess. He said, listen, there's nothing new under the sun. Do y'all really think that this is the first time that people have been killing Christians? Because I do believe on the news this morning, I heard that right now they're trying to recover a body of a missionary that was shot with some kind of people that used bow and arrow and loaded this dude up and buried his body somewhere that they are scared to go get him, because the people who live on this island for some 60,000 years don't have the immune system. So anybody who goes there possibly could get them sick and kill them.
That's right.
Really? Yeah. Just this morning, do you really think that people who go in synagogues and shoot up people in the name of Christ, and you think that's new? There's still, baby, nothing new under the sun.
Yes, sir.
You think it's strange that all of a sudden that people would decide, if I can't have you, nobody can have you, and I will shoot you, shoot my own self-children, and then kill myself? Ain't nothing new under the sun.
Yes, sir.
And I know I'm right about it, because y'all just happened to pick a brother that used to think he was doing God a service to kill y'all.
Yeah.
Will walk in your house and drag you out of your crib and take you to the center of the street and beat you to death.
Yes, sir.
And tell God, I am doing you a service by killing you. But I like this, because listen, I don't have to know your business to know you got business.
All right.
If you can sit up in here and look all primed and nice if you want to, I don't have to know your business to know you got business. I'm in the Word. I'm still in this here book, because it says, it's not only is there nothing new under the sun, he says, look, there's no temptation that has overtaken you except for that which is common. Y'all don't like that. Right. Let me hit that again. He says, there's no temptation except that which is common. So let me stop right there, because that word common means that what bothers me can bother him, and what bothers him can bother him, and what bothers her can bother her. I'm trying to tell y'all, there's nothing new. And so what happens, I don't have to know your business to know you got business. And see, and the fact that you here also tells me that you need help with your business. Yeah. See, I know. We like to slide in and be slick and hide and don't say nothing to nobody. But when the pastor hits on it, he said, man, he was in my backyard. Baby, he don't have to know your business to know you got business. When you walk through the door, that says there's something bothering me. When you get on your knees and when you raise your hand, you are saying there's something bothering me. Whether it be your husband, your wife, your kids, your job, or just you yourself. I don't have to know.
Amen.
Your business to know you got business. And so let me just play with my man Paul. You know, Paul, he's familiar now to jail because he's been there more than once. This ain't the first time that he's been arrested. He got arrested back in the day for dealing with somebody who was following them at the time and talking at them, and he said boo to her and the powers that be. I'm just going to paraphrase, so y'all have to dig on Paul's life if you want to hear all of what he did. And so he cast some demons out of her. Yeah. But if you ever want to make somebody mad, mess with the money. Mess with the money. See, your government ain't crazy. They know what's going on. The people who are making money now are those who are in bed with your president. He mine too, but I didn't vote for him. So therefore, all I can tell you is this. If you want to see what's what, follow the money.
Amen.
Follow the money.
Yeah. Ray Charles' mom had a nice one. I wish, she should have patented this line. Scratch a line, find a thief. Yeah, If you follow the money, you'll see everything you need to see about anybody involved with what's happening. And so let me get in here. Here Paul is in jail. And he's in jail, and the church at Philippi has now got word of his incarceration.
All right.
And so they sent this brother Epaphroditus. I'm going to call him E because I can't say that too many times. And so they sent this brother to go see about it. And so he goes to see about Paul. But what I like about the church, they didn't send E there empty-handed. They took up an offering. They gave him some cash, baby. It take a little money to make the wheels on the bus go round. And so they sent him some cash. And so E shows up to Paul with a little change in his hand. He said, listen, this here is from the church to help you do what you're going to do. But it's funny. He's in jail. Why in the world would you give money to a man that's incarcerated? It wasn't like they could put money on his books. I don't think they had books back then. And so now that he's in jail, they are sending support to him to let him know he is not in this by himself. Yeah. So E was just supposed to drop the money off and go home. Well, E kind of gets caught up in the situation, and he ends up hanging out with Paul. But then E gets sick, and he almost dies.
All right.
To which, and it's in the word, it says God healed him and brought him back. As a matter of fact, in the letter, Paul writes, I'm sending him back to you because he's anxious to get home. And so now on his way home, Paul says, well, since you brought me something, I'm going to give you something to take back from me.
Amen.
And so E takes back this here letter. And in this letter, I like it when y'all start this thing because he says, listen, tell them, let their conduct be worthy of the call.
Worthy.
Yeah, worthy. Y'all know, okay. I like saved folk because they act like they don't ever cuss, and they act like they don't ever drink. Saved folk act like they ain't ever smoked nothing. And I ain't talking about that Bill Clinton smoking that weed in hell. I'm talking about when you got the blood, you sucked it down to the floor. I'm talking about people. Yeah, y'all know y'all out there. Y'all like, wait a minute, did you?
Go ahead,
Yeah, y'all know. I like it when we get behind these hollow walls. We like to hide and duck like we ain't never done nothing wrong. But I like this because Paul is saying, listen, let your conduct be worthy of the calling to which you're handling. And so let me just give you this quick little point because your conduct has to be conducive to Christ in order for your commitment to be connected, right? Okay, I'll tell you one more time. Listen, your conduct has to be conducive to Christ in order for your commitment to be connected.
Wow.
What does that mean? That means that everything that you used to say, you ought not say it as much. ago, she made me cuss her out. I did not want to slap that dude, but he made me hit him. You know, you said the wrong thing at the right time, and it just mattered. You know, the dude that just got shot in the head last night, they said he had an argument with some punk. Whatever he said just enough. But when he tried to run away, they said, pow, they got him in the back of the head. I hope he's okay. Lord, do what you do best. But I'm just trying to say, he says, let your conduct be conducive to Christ. So that means that you now have to change.
Amen.
Yeah, you've got to change. So it's amazing about church hurt. Now I had a brother, and he's a good friend of mine, and so if I ever get a chance to talk to him, I should, he said that church hurt doesn't really exist. That only exists because church folk spend most of their time in church. So that when you get hurt, you just think it's church hurt. But that ain't really true, because I've been talking to God about this. He said, the reason why church hurts is because you ain't supposed to get hurt in church.
That's right.
Yeah, y'all don't believe it. Y'all don't believe it. This is the hospital where everybody that's got something can come and get help.
Yeah.
This is the place you want the dope fiend to come in here and let us help you with whatever's ailing you. You want the prostitute to come in here and get help for whatever's bothering you. You want the thief to come in here and get help for whatever's bothering you. You want the liar to come in here and get help for whatever's bothering you. You want the gossiper to come in here and get help for whatever's bothering you. You want the alcoholic to come in here and get help for whatever's bothering you. However, when you see what they look like, which is mirroring what you used to look like, you got the audacity and the mitigating gall to turn up your nose and say you can't come in.
Watch it.
Yeah. All of us, baby, are ex-something. Yeah, you think that just because your stuff didn't get out, God is clear. But for the grace of God goes each and every one of us. The only difference between the brother in jail and me is he got caught.
That's right.
He got caught. We got caught. Now, allegedly, I've been caught a couple times. But I'll never cop to it, and I'm free until the end. That's my story.
Stick with it.
But the only difference between the dope fiend and myself is that grace covers me.
Grace.
The only difference that my kids aren't in jail, or my sons aren't in a gang, or my in-laws aren't incarcerated is that grace is in my bloodline. So he says, let your conduct be conducive to Christ so that your commitment can be connected. And so let me tell you this, because this is a warning here. I need you to know this, that as soon as you get serious about your service, Satan is going to get serious about your seduction.
All right.
Yeah. So once you decide that, my conduct is going to be committed to Christ so that everything can be connected, Satan says, now I got to get real about you because you are trying to get real about me. Now don't fool yourself. Don't you act like Satan doesn't know who you are. I got a witness. Don't worry. Check out Job. When Job is doing what he does, he's making sacrifices for his kids. He's tending the flocks. His wife is making them lunch, meat sandwiches. And then all of a sudden, there's a meeting that Job doesn't get an invite to that happens in heavenly places that God says, let me pull your coattail, bro, and see what you got going on. He says, well, you know me. I'm just messing around to see who I can get at. And so God says, well, listen, why don't you get at my man Job? And so the devil says what? He said, come on, man, you know you got him hedged in. I can't get at him like I want to get at him. But he says, but if you pull it back a little bit, I promise you, he ain't what you think he is. He's not even what he think it is. And so, God says, oh, please, I know this dude. Shoot your best shot. And so, don't think that the devil doesn't know your name.
All right.
Oh, you like that? That's okay. Come on, Peter, slide through here real fast. And so I thought I was doing the Lord a favor when I said what I said to try to buck up and said, this ain't going to happen. He looked at me and I thought he would have had my back. He said, Peter, don't you know that the devil has asked for you by name?
Yeah.
And I thought then he would have said, well, I'm going to save you or I'm going to deliver you. He said, no. He said, I'm going to pray for you that your faith doesn't fail. Don't you think that the devil doesn't know your name?
Say it, Reverend.
But now a lot of us don't get tested by him because we're not really doing what we say we do. We ain't really in the flow like we should be in the flow, because I'm trying to tell you now, but as soon as you get serious about your service, the devil will get serious about your seduction. And so here I am. I'm still in Philippians. I ain't got lost. And so Paul says, look, so some things that are going to happen to you. First, when you start to change your conduct, there's going to be some folk that's going to do some things to you, thinking to add afflictions to your wounds. It's right there in the same chapter 1. He says, listen, although I'm in jail, there are people now who are preaching the same gospel that I'm preaching.
That's right.
But they are preaching it supposedly to add afflictions to me. But what they don't understand is I don't really care, because all I care about is that the word of God is being preached.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying, because you know that person. If you work in an office, you know there's somebody in there that's got your number, and every time you see them under your breath, you say, I can't stand it. Might be your boss, it could be your co-worker, whoever it is. And every time, just ruin my morning. I can't even have my cup of coffee without seeing this person. They ain't know that's my parking space. I park there, it's free parking. I park there every day for the last 5 years. And now she has to book her raggedy car. Her car ain't even as nice as mine. And taking my parking space. Y'all know what it's like. I'm just saying, check your conduct. And it doesn't take much.
You're right, brother.
That doesn't take much for the right person to say the right thing at the wrong time. And before you know it, you got stuff flying out your lips. It don't take much. Yeah. Let you try to be in a hurry in the grocery store. You in the express lane, and here comes Miss 50 items to come through the same line with 40 coupons. And now all of a sudden, you can't get to the social because all you got is a gallon of ice cream, and everybody's waiting on you to have punch. But now you are watching this lady. Oh wait, I got a coupon for that bread. And she's fumbling. Yeah. Oh wait, I got a coupon for the. Here. Yeah. Oh wait, I got it. All the while you sitting there going, Lord have mercy. Really? Really, can you see the sign? What's that say? 15 items or less. Express. Fast. Hurry up. Get out. Let's go. Come on, y'all know if the light turn yellow and you just 5 feet from the red light, will you stop or will you trump that accelerator? I got to get through, only to get stopped at the next red light 5 feet down the road.
Yeah, you're right.
Trying to say, watch your conduct.
Watch your conduct.
Watch your conduct. So now you decide, okay, God, I'm gonna take this road. So now Satan says, well, I got to get real about you, so you do know there are 3 parts to every storm, right? Because every storm, it doesn't come from the devil. You got some things in the storm that God is trying to pull out of you, stuff that's in you that you don't know exists.
Yeah.
So you got to get that out of the way. Now the other part of the storm is your consequence behind the silliness that we choose to do over and over and over and then over. And if it felt good, we'll do it again and say, I'll pay the price later. Our kids ain't the only ones that do silly things, because they are just us in another level. And so, yes. And so as grown folk go, so do our children.
That's right.
Yeah. And And so that's two. One is God trying to pull something out of you. Two is that the consequence behind the choice that you made. But then number three is where Satan says, now I'm finna get at him a little bit. I want to see if he's really what he says he is. I'm finna test his faith and test his prayer life. Now don't think he's just gonna waltz into you. We sing this song, I went to the enemy's camp and I took back everything that he stole from me. Don't you know that when you go to the enemy's camp, you better go with your guns loaded?
All right. Yeah.
Don't just think that you're going to walk up in there and he's just going to bow and curtsy and give you all of your stuff back. Do you really believe that you're the only one that's the biggest, baddest dude on the planet? Don't you know who you are going up against? That's okay. I'm glad you need to know this. He is the most cunning creature that God ever created. That's in the Word. That's in Genesis. He says, when I discuss Satan, this is who he is. This is how bad he is. You call yourself a jokester. This dude right here is the most cunning creature on the face of the earth. Anybody? I'm a chess player, but I'm not a real chess player. I just know how to move the stuff, whereas not to make my game aggravate the person that I'm playing a little longer than need be. Because people who really play chess and domino, people play dominoes like this too. They count. See, I ain't no count. I'm like, hey, let's just have fun. If I can make my money, that's fine. We're good. And so y'all know how we get. So for some reason, we just can't play a game like normal people. That we got to bring our domino from back here and try to drive it through the table. So much so all the dominoes jump up. Everybody on the table, they got to put everything back together. Only for you to come back the next time. 5. And you hit it. So, but for a real domino player or for a real chess player, they have calculated all of this stuff about you. They can tell you what's in your hand before you play it, just by counting what's on the board.
You right.
And check it out how many people are playing. My mother plays Bid Whist. They try to teach me. I guess I'm just too slow because I can't catch that game. But to watch her, my grandparents, and my dad sit at the Bid Whist table, you would have thought Armageddon was going down the way they would play.
Right.
My dad would smack the cards and they would sit there and spin and play. Pow! Come get it. And she's like, whatever. Pow! There's another. And again, we just sit back and laugh. I'm telling you, it got so heated in the kitchen. One day, my grandparents didn't live in Wichita. They're like, let's go home. My granddad shut the game down and went home over a Bid Whist game. So I'm just trying to tell you that with people and everybody in said kitchen was saved. And so I'm telling you, over certain things be going down. So they calculate and they know your moves and they know how you get it and they know where you're going before you get there. And so you always wonder that when it's all said and done, how could you figure me out? That's who your enemy is. He knows what you like. He knows how you like it.
Yeah.
He knows where you like to be touched. He knows how you like to hear things. He knows the foods you like. If your doctor says don't eat the ham, why are you sitting up there with a ham sandwich? We do. And then we justify it because holidays. Thanksgiving just went. Now we can't get just a sliver. We got to get 2 inches of ham and wrap it to 4 slices of bread with mustard and some lettuce and some pickles, one of them Fred Flintstone sandwiches, and then we smush it down, so we can get it in our little mouths. So we smush it down and we sit there like this. I'm like, yes, Jesus. All those doctors already told you, stay away from that stuff because it's not good. Tell you.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you about your enemy. That as soon as you get serious about your service, he gets serious about your seduction. I'll use this last I'm done. When single women, y'all know this. When your phone rings after a certain hour, and just when you've gotten over a certain person, on the other end of the line you hear, hey baby. Now you have the nerve to go, who is this? And so he says what?
What you doing?
It's just 1 a.m. I'm just sitting up having popcorn. I'm in the bed. What you think I'm doing? He know where you are. He knows where you are.
Yeah.
And he only calls because he's called before. He ain't flipping the coin and say, "There she go." No, listen. He calls. I'm just saying that your enemy,
Yes, sir.
that as soon as you get real about your service, he gets real about your seduction. So he said, well, help me, Brother Preacher. Don't just leave me out here because I need my conduct to be conducive to Christ so that my commitment is connected. I need to understand that if the enemy comes at me because I'm serious about my service, he is now serious about my seduction. Help me figure this thing out. I'm so glad that you need to know this because in Paul's letter there at the end, he says, listen, finally, my brother, whatsoever things are true.
Yes, sir.
And whatever things are noble, whatever things are just, whatever things are of good report. He says, listen, I need you to think on these things. See, it's not what goes in that defiles the man, it's what comes out. Well, if what you need to do then is change what you put in. And so if you change what you think about, and change how you talk, and change how you walk, and change where you're going, and change who you hang out with, I promise it will change your conduct. So let me just give you this last point. So in order for you to win the war, you've got to watch where you walk.
Amen.
All right.
Okay. So now that we've changed the way we're thinking, we're changing the way we're feeling, and we're changing our whole diet so that we can make sure that we are conducive to Christ because we need to be connected. See, the only reason why y'all are willing to brave the elements because you understand I need to be connected because I know what the snow can do, and I understand that if I get some salt, put it on the snow, I can make it to where I need. I know that if I don't eat after a certain time, my body gets hungry. But the soul also craves a connection with its daddy. So you're willing to risk it all, to come through the elements, to fight the storm, to fight your friends, to even fight some people in your own house to say, why are you going back to that church again? It's because you know that in order for me to win this war, I've got to watch where I walk. Well, in order for me to get my steps ordered by the Lord, I've got to know the Lord. I've got to know him. I've got to know him. And so what I like about Paul is this, listen, I'm sending my man back to you. Here's my letter. I need you to focus on these things. So whether I come or don't come, I still hear that y'all still doing business. Pastor, if I don't never make it them 170 miles back up here to the north, I can hear that First Baptist is still handling business. Thank God that we never talk or fellowship ever, never, no more. I can still Google it, and hear First Baptist is still doing business. My girl, Sister Williams, started sending me some texts, and I told her, don't you work too hard. She said, listen, silly rabbit, don't you understand? I work for God. I don't work for them people. I need y'all to know. Whether I come back or not, all I need to do is hear that First Baptist is still doing business. And in that, then I know for a fact that you are now a congregation worthy of service for the Lord. And what God will do, he said, watch and see. When I open up the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing. Don't you get dismayed by what you see. Because God says, I've got thousands of people who have yet to bow and serve my name. But when the time is right, I'm going to send you out amongst them to compel them to come in. Now watch this, because everybody ain't coming. But don't you be dismayed about that. Because he said, I've got some others. Now I need you to go out beyond the highways gates and beyond the hedges, because there's still some more that's going to come on in here. So although there's empty spots, God ain't never had a building that he didn't plan to fill up.
Preach it, man.
Yeah. Congregation, worthy of service for the Lord. So for you people, I'm us people, by the way. So for you people that say we don't have enough money, the budget people, they all say we don't have enough money to do what we need to do. I don't know how we're going to make this work. The van needs tires and the carpet. You see that carpet's gone, ain't it? The carpet needed replacing. There's some other things that the building needs. I need some stuff. I need some supplies for the office. Now, the one thing I love about being a congregation worthy of service is who you're serving. He said, you are serving the Lord.
Right.
And the one thing I like about God is that God never leaves his children.
Come on now.
Say it.
Yeah. Come on now. Yeah.
He never leaves his children wanting, needing anything. David, thank you, David, for your witness. He said, listen, I once was young, but now I'm old, and I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor the seed begging bread. Thank you, Paul, for echoing that. He says, listen, and my God shall supply all of your needs according to his riches in glory. Well, maybe you don't know what those riches are, because as far as I know, the riches include the cattle on 1,000 hills. The riches include streets of gold. The riches include mansions for each and every one of us. And so therefore, all I'm trying to tell you, if you show up for God, God will show up for you.
Say it, man.
A congregation worthy of service for the Lord.
A congregation worthy of service to the Lord.